gentlemen, well, I say ladies and gentlemen, pretty much gentlemen. I don't think there's any ladies that watch my channel, but maybe there are. So hello if there is. My name's TJ, and welcome to Conspiracy Crypto. Just want to thank everyone for subscribing, bringing this channel up the rankings. Thank you for that. And today we've got an action-packed show for you. It's Sunday, 31st of the 5th, and the crypto market is heating up. And things are starting to move one way or the other. Okay, so I wanted to get into what I think's going on with the broader market. Plus, I want to talk to you today about the ISO coins, what's happened with Stellar, and what's going to happen with XRP. So that's pretty much it. I'll get into it in just a second, but first off, click that like, subscribe, and start growing this channel for me, and I will be posting more top quality content for you very, very soon. Okay, so let's get into it. So today, let's start off with the markets. So coin currently sitting at 74, up from 72. So we're starting to move on that. So you've got XRP at $1.34, which is where it was yesterday. But the real mover and shaker in the ISO world has, of course, been Stellar, wherever the heck it is. It's now just under Cardano. So there's Cardano. There's Stellar. So it's sitting just under Cardano. At one point, it was 30 cents a Stellar Lumens, which is absolutely nuts. Obviously, it's been a lot higher than that on hype and speculation. But to see it moving in a bear market like that, 52% over 7 days is quite something. Hyperliquid's obviously doing quite well. I will do something on that in the future. But yeah, I wanted to go over what I think is going on with the broader market. And in order to do that, I want to go back to my good friend, Dr. Pump and Dump. So hopefully you can all hear this. I'm just going to play this and shut up. But basically, he's talking about how this is still just a bear market rally, and we have got a long way to go, and we are going to be targeting 50K very, very soon. So have a listen, and I'll let you see what you think.
And forming that divergence, having marked a peak at the 200 period moving average. But we'll see if we rally up. Let me zoom back in here. We'll see if we rally back up.
So as you can see, what we're in is a massive bear flag. So we potentially could rally back up here and then crash again. Or we could just take this out, go through the 72, and then completely crash down to 50 odd, which I think potentially is more likely. However, I believe
to the
this will play out
of the head and shoulders. But the even if we do go,
this will play out within the next kind of couple of months. But this could be sooner than that. This could be a couple of weeks. We could be here and back down again, or vice versa. But all I'm saying to you is, in my opinion, 50 is inevitable, and lower is inevitable as well. I think we'll actually bottom in something like November or December, maybe even early January next year. But that's my take on it. So have a listen to what he says, and I'll be quiet again.
Higher again, the 20 is now dropping below the 50. That is not good. Over here we did it when the moving averages turn bullish and then they turn bearish, and it marks a sideways move or a trending move. So that's what this is telling us. Over here we got the bearish arrangement of the moving averages, but then we got back above the 50, and we were able to see signals turn back to bullish at that time. Right now signals are still bearish. So if this is a sideways move, then we've got to be able to get back above the 50, back above the 20, and see signals turn back to bullish and eventually get back above the 200 period moving average. Well, we cancel out the head and shoulders is pushing and closing above the high there at 82,000 on May 6th, the head formation.
So what he's saying is there's a head and shoulders pattern here, and clearly that marks a breakdown. So he's more confident that we're going to break down through here and hit 50 pretty quickly. He doesn't think there's much chance we're going to go up here because we've got to take out that 82 level, 86 level, sorry, and it doesn't look likely. As you can see here, that is a cross, that's a bear cross, that's a bull cross, that's a bear cross, and now we're crossing down. So it looks like we're either going to chop around for a bit and then drop, or we're literally just going to drop. So okay, let him carry on.
High, that would cancel out the pattern, but it has successfully broken the neckline, at least so far. So we just may get a feeble bounce. The 10 period is right into that neckline there. We may get a feeble bounce and have a dramatic drop with the 20 now crossing below the 50 as we saw.
Okay, so the 20 week is now crossing below the 50 week, and that's what that is there. And he expects that we're going to have a massive, massive drop somewhere into the like middle of June, down to 50, maybe even the bottom. But I'm calling a bottom of 35,000 for Bitcoin. That's what I'm calling, and I will be redeploying everything at that level. But, and this is where it comes down to it, okay? But there has been a lot of movement with the ISO coins recently. In the last 3 days, the DTCC, which are responsible for bonds, trading, indices, etc., in the US, they have decided that they're going to use the Stellar network in the first half of 2027. That is why Stellar Lumens has gone absolutely ballistic recently. Let's find it again. There it is. It's gone up by 52%. Well, that's the reason. Okay. It's not out of nowhere. This is where it's come from. The DTCC have decided that they're going to use Stellar Lumens. Now, a lot of people in the XRP community are pissed off about this, and they think that, this is just cheating. Stella's been, the floozy, and it's just been cheating. Well, it's not the case. XRP is still the golden goose. All right. I like to think of it like this. I like to think of XDC as bronze, XLM, Stellar, as silver, and XRP as gold. So, what does that mean for XRP? Well, if Stellar's done a run, I can guarantee one thing: XRP will too, and that is because there's lots of news coming out with the Bank of International Settlements, and there's also news coming out. There's tons of news coming out about XRP at the minute, and this is what I mean: 85, I believe that's trillion. Plus CME and Nasdaq are launching 24/7 XRP future trading today. That was yesterday. All right. And the even bigger news, the even bigger news is this. This is on Stellar 8 hours ago. 14 trillion plus payments giant Visa is now building stablecoin infrastructure on Stellar. So, ISO coins are going to go absolutely mental. But remember, as I said before, gold, silver, and bronze. And then this is from a while ago, but this is a very interesting article by our XRP Spice, okay, August the 10th last year. Ripple, the BIS Basel, and the future of the global bridge currency. In Basel, Switzerland, there stands an inconspicuous but geopolitically significant building, the Bank of International Settlements. It's known as the Bank of Central Banks, coordinating international financial standards and steering essential aspects of global payment transactions with its member central banks. Since 2003, a new high-profile player has joined the table of the BIS, Ripple. The company behind the cryptocurrency XRP has been accepted as an official member of the PIE Task Force Cross-Border Payments Interoperability and Extension. Yeah, they're in bed with the Bank of International Settlements. Right now, XRP is trading at $1.34. Okay, that's a very good entry point for a lot of institutions and banks. I still believe it's going lower. I still believe the crash is going to happen, but that's not a bad price point to be looking at getting into XRP. All right. So that's a bit more information about what's been going on. Obviously, the news with the DTCC with Stellar is what's pushed it. However, that could push Stellar to $1. Easy peasy. So, personally, not financial advice, but myself, I'm going to go and get myself a little tiny bag of Stellar now, just in case, because potentially that could be huge. And the bank liquidity side of it is starting to really, really move. Also, things like Japan's financial conglomerate SBI Holdings launched a 10 billion yen, 64.5 million on blockchain bond that rewards individual investors with XRP. The 3-year SBI Start bonds issue on iBet or Fin platform offer a yield of 1.85 or 2.45 plus XRP token incentives. It matures in 2029. Okay? Think about that. Think about what XRP is going to do and where it's going to go. Yeah, they've issued, this was in 2026, this is February this year, they issued $65 million worth of XRP. XRP is going mainstream, and right now it's going to go even more mainstream because it's now being launched as its own trading platform. So if I type in NASDAQ and I type in XRP, okay, that's the price reference index. There you go. XRP is now actively tracked and traded on the NASDAQ in multiple ways, including spot ETFs and futures ETFs. Now, the actual real spot ETF for XRP goes live in August. Okay? August this year. Now, that coincides pretty much with the crash. So I think that a lot of people are going to get in at very good pricing with XRP. But as nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. Do your own research, find out what you think is going to happen, and don't follow crypto channels. We just provide it entertainment, bit of information, bit of an idea on what's going on. But it's up to you to do your final research on this stuff. All right. Don't just jump in feet first thinking you know what you're doing until you've actually done the research. But yes, the NASDAQ spot ETF for XRP is going live in August. And that could be absolutely freaking huge for XRP. Just to let you know what I've recently done, I was completely out of the market, but because of what happened with Stellar Lumens, I've put myself a little moon bag back together of various currencies just to hold in case something happens, because you don't want to miss the boat. If XRP suddenly jumps up to $50 tomorrow, you don't want to be the guy who's sitting in stable coins and missed it. You don't want to be that guy. All right. So again, not financial advice, but that's what I'm personally doing in this market. I am mostly out. However, I do hold moon bags of certain cryptos, which I believe are going to absolutely fly. I still think that Cardano has a long way to go. And I also think anything with an ISO token behind it is going to be flying. So XRP, XLM, XDC. Those are the big three that they're going to be using for their global financial system. All right, so that's it from me. I'll go back to this page now. Please like, subscribe the channel. Have watched some of my other videos. This is quite an interesting one. It's all about how this tax is coming out in Australia, which will actually destroy your crypto gains by up to 50%. So if you're in Australia, you need to watch that. And that's it pretty much. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.